again, over the holidays, another story went very, very viral. It's the crazy story of the lady holding a pie with a cross behind her and some ankles showing. It was CalendarGate, and everyone was talking about it for like 5 days.
Yeah, like before we even state our opinions on CalendarGate, I just want to say you shouldn't have been tweeting and arguing with people on the internet on Christmas Day. That is just not advisable, regardless of where you stand on the issue. If you think that the calendar is demonic, or if you think it's completely harmless, you shouldn't have been arguing with people about it on Twitter on Christmas when you were supposed to be spending time with your family. That is my official stance. So here's the context. You guys might already be familiar, but if you're not, in case you missed it, this brand called Conservative Dads, started by Seth Weathers. It's also the brand that put out ultra-right beer in response to the Bud Light controversy. They decided to create it's not a bikini calendar, it's just a calendar of women.
It's the
okay?
Women of America.
Yes, it's called Conservative Dads Real Women of America 2024 calendar. And Riley Gaines is on the cover. So, you know that this is really also a response to, trans identifying males invading women's spaces, and they're using a percent of the proceeds to donate to the Riley Gaines Center to protect women's sports from extreme leftist ideology seeking to destroy real women. And they had 12 conservative influencers on the calendar, and they included Kim Klacik, Ashley St. Clair, Sarah Gonzalez, our own coworker, actually, Josie the redheaded libertarian, Catalina Loff, Bethany Bartlett, Peyton Drew. I hadn't heard of all of these women. The point is, it's not quite a bikini calendar. They're just scantily clad in some, and in others, they're just wearing a normal outfit. But it's catered to conservative men, right? But it's not racy. It's not as racy as it sounds. No. Like, I wouldn't call this demonic. I wouldn't call it pornographic necessarily. There's some of the photos are scantily clad. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. And I wouldn't call that conservative, but this turned into a gigantic, monumental hullabaloo. It turned into a debate about political philosophy. What does it mean to be a conservative? What does it mean to be a woman? It's like, what is a woman, but what is a conservative? And
this is perhaps the definition of terminally online.
Look, besides the issue of, is this conservative? Let's ask ourselves, is this cringy? And like, let's be honest, it's a little bit cringy. The execution of this idea, it didn't exactly hit the mark. Would you agree?
Look, here's the issue. Like, I blame a lot of this on the coalition building that the right did under Trump, meaning that what was once a 90s Democrat or traditional old school liberal is now thrown under the banner of conservatism. Certainly, I'm here on a show that's part of a network that gets labeled as right wing. And anybody who watches this show knows that I am not myself a right wing person, right? So what happens is it becomes a purity test. It's their own version of a purity test. And my biggest issue is that it's not just about not hitting the mark, it's a distraction. It's a huge distraction, and it's a nothing burger that's turned into a something burger, when in reality, you're not going to be able to enter this space and outdo what the left does. And they're going to be like, they mentioned it was the night, like if your dad had a calendar, right? He had a Bud Light calendar, a Budweiser calendar on his beer fridge back in the 90s. Well, yes, America might have been a slightly more conservative place at that time, but the ad agencies and the people creating these things were not that.
Sure.
These industries have not, the industries have gone farther left, but they were never right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So I look at stuff like this and I'm like, first of all, props to the calendar maker, because this is the best thing that could have happened to them.
Yeah.
Like, holy free publicity. Every day he's just like, I love the idea that what was it, Seth, like he's
Seth
just
Weathers.
making sock accounts, just reigniting the story to keep it going, just cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. And
Yeah.
I watch this stuff and it's much to do about nothing. And I wonder why people have the time to argue about something like this. It ends up being a semantic argument about what does it mean to be a conservative? Are you a social conservative? Are you a fiscal conservative? Are you a blah, 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 blah.
And you all just look like a bunch of nerds who need to put your phone away.
And it's
at the end of the day.
just
Well,
the
the interesting part of this is that Josie, our coworker, became the scapegoat for the entire calendar in a sense. And her picture from this calendar is like one of the most safe for work.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, but
that you could
holy
find.
crap. Riley Gaines, the swimmer in a bikini, that's crazy.
Right.
That's crazy.
Do you want to show us the photo of Josie for context? Here she is. She's in her kitchen. She's wearing an ultra right beer branded apron and high heels.
I will say, little too much dead space here on the right. I think there should have been something done with that. My personal opinion. That's my critique. Is like maybe like
we have some artistic critiques.
I would like to see, like, maybe if they do this next time, you get a set photographer who goes and does this, and you have and you actually commit to an art style for the whole thing, and maybe it could just be a little bit better prepared. Maybe it's not necessarily about the content, but that it needs to be like if you're going to go into the left space and attempt to outdo them, you better be willing to build the infrastructure, because they've got decades upon decades of experience doing this type of stuff, where even what, and again, not me, what you, like a lot of people would call degeneracy, is at least artistic degeneracy that has some type of fluid style and actual commitment to the bit. Like, you're gonna have to outdo them in the technical aspects, otherwise it's just not gonna work. But it doesn't matter, because they made a crap ton of money off of the drama.
Yeah, and I'm sure that Josie actually got a lot of followers off of this controversy happening, so good for her. And it's kind of blown over by now.
She's not a conservative. Again,
right? She's
libertarian.
Literally in the name is the redheaded libertarian.
I'm sorry. I know,
she never claimed to be a conservative.
I know that this is not the big brain take, but I just sigh. I sigh when I see them arguing about this stuff, because this is the purity spiral of the right. When it's and that's because for a lot of them, I saw a bunch of arguments, and to my own critique, I got stuck reading a bunch of them, which I shouldn't have been doing, of people arguing about what it meant to be religious conservative versus what it meant to be a fiscal conservative versus what it meant to be a social conservative, and all this stuff, right? And that's their purity spiral. The left might purity spiral about your ability to remember Tommy Dorfman's pronouns, but everybody's got their thing. Everybody's got their thing that they're going to hold you to account on, and it's the weirdest form of gatekeeping, and it's why even when the left fights with each other, they still coalition build better, because they just gobble everyone up into their sphere, into generic leftism. And meanwhile, people on the right, whether it's this, whether it's any of this, how many stories did we see in 2023 of people just fighting with each other on the line over stuff that blows over in 3 months and nobody remembers?
Or faster, usually. It blows over in like 2 days.
Somebody mentioned like Steven Crowder the other day, like the video of Steven Crowder. I'm like, oh yeah,
that happened.
Forgot about that. Like, this is why, like, whenever these topics come up, I don't have anything to say, because it's a distraction. They're going to continue to build. Everyone else here is going to continue to fight. No, I'm the principled conservative. No, I am, because I don't like to see ankles.
Yeah, for anyone who is listening rather than watching and you didn't see the photo of Josie, she is fully clothed. This is far from a risque or pornographic photo. She is definitely covered. So I don't know if that image itself is the one that we should be shocked and scandalized by, if anything. And also, Ashley St. Clair's photos in the calendar were supposed to be a satire, like a parody of Dylan Mulvaney's Audrey Hepburn look, promoting Bud Light. Here's this video of Ashley St. Clair promoting the ultra-right beer and the calendar.
Here we go.
Real women.
I don't know if the music's copyrighted.
I don't think it is.
Real women drink conservative dad's ultra-right beer.
like,
I'm gonna need Ashley to get somebody to get some insert shots of the beer so I can see the can more clearly. If you're gonna beat the left, you're gonna need to work on the basics. Okay?
yeah. It's a parody of itself, right? That's what it's aiming to be.
Okay, so what they need to do now, first of all, I also made I think I made the joke on Salting Around, like they should just go all in and find all of like the women who like the right and just do a porn calendar. It would be hilarious. But no, okay. But the thing that they should do now, just do a burqa version. Now just do just have one with them completely covered. Actually do one where they're hiding behind stuff and all you can see is like the top of their eye line. Right? Like
their eyes are too seductive.
Okay, so what you can do is like you could put a huge like those like room dividers or those dividers you stand behind to get changed in,
Sure.
right? And it's but it's got the Constitution printed on it. And Josie's
Amazing.
eyes are just like looking out the side. All you can see is just the top half of her head.
They need your artistic direction.
At least just do a parody that's actually funny. You have to put a little bit more thought, I think, into the art direction of something like this. I do think it's great to contribute to causes that you believe in, but I just think it was funny. It made me roll my eyes.
I just think it's not conservative to market a calendar of women who may or may not be scantily clad to the conservative dad brand, aka married men. But more importantly, the execution didn't hit the target and it was kind of cringy, and we would like to avoid cringing in the future. And then this kind of it folded over into a different gate. Everything is a gate now. The next one was Cake Gate. So for context, this is a video that was posted in October but resurfaced from conservative influencer Isabella Maria DeLuca. You might have heard of her. She posted a video of herself in her kitchen making a cake, and the caption is, "Brown butter caramel cake is the messiest thing I've made thus far." And in the video, if you would like to show us, Brett, she is wearing a high neck t-shirt that is all covering her collarbones even. But it is rather tight fitting, so you can see that she has breasts. Oh, the humanity. And this turned into its own gate.
I'm sorry, guys, but if the right is canceling big titties, then I'm out. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
I think people's issue with it was that they believed she was drawing more attention to her figure than the food that she was making in the video.
It's not her figure. Sorry, I've been getting made fun of endlessly for the last week for how I say that word. Figure. Yes. It's not her figure's fault. Sorry.
Well, yes, she's objectively not wearing something that is showing skin. I guess it's just the framing of the video, the intention of the video that people assumed was nefarious and demonic.
I don't want to live in a world where big titty blondes are canceled. I don't.
I just... Maybe you can argue that her intention in posting the video was vain. Of course you can. It's social media. What else do young women do? I mean, I know I do. I post images of myself and they get attention. And there's nothing wrong with seeking attention. But it just makes you look like a schizophrenic hobo screaming on the street to be infighting about something this trivial, right? It just makes everyone look like a fool.
This is why nothing changes, because again, not my thing, but like if you're really big into voting and changing the culture, and you're not focusing on your local elections and if you can tell me every single tweet that came out about this story, but not the members of your local school board, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, bring back. Here's a New Year's resolution. Yeah, stop infighting on Twitter and start caring about your local elections.
I get why this stuff matters because it's easy to it's fun to talk. Look, I'm still having fun talking about it, but it's like for the people that are really in this that they want to, you want to change the people that are elected and you really care about the culture, you need to do more than just this stuff. If that's your goal. Again, not my goal in life. I'm fine just watching it all burn down apparently. But should we watch the video? Does that matter or is it just having
There's
it
a
pause
song
here?
on it.
Oh, okay, there's a song on it.
But look, it's self-explanatory. She is
Here it is without
making
the
a
song.
cake, and most of what you see is her. That's the point of the video, right? We're not really looking at the food. We're looking at her.
Maybe
She's the focal point of the video.
Okay, so maybe like it would be good if like the thing you're making isn't like half out of the shot.
Right.
Again, I'm blaming all of this on lack of. It's a technical problem. It's not an ideological problem. It's a technical problem. She needs second unit photography to really get some glamour shot close-ups of like the egg cracking and all of this stuff. There's a reason why the women who post Instagram thirst traps at the gym always have a shot of them walking up to the equipment.
I just think like when women dress in skimpy outfits or revealing outfits and you're in person, nobody freaks out. But once it's a social media post that assigns an intention to the like what they're doing, that's when people like chimp out and freak out and can't handle it.
I'm gonna need someone to run on the platform of we will not cancel big titty blondes. That's what I want.
And you know what? I got dragged into this whole gate
Oh
thing.
yes, you did. You
as
did
well.
because of Pearl.
You know, I posted my outfit on New Year's Eve. That was this cute pink dress, and it wasn't revealing either. And then it started getting replies from people who were like, look, she can post her outfit without being immodest. Take notes, ladies, or whatever. Like that was essentially the vibe that they were posting in. And I was like, look, I just was posting a picture of my outfit. I don't want to be involved in all of your bullshit. But it's not even worth replying anyway, because then that means that you're taking a side.
Yeah.
And it's this whole like insular culture war in and of itself that I didn't want to get involved in.
But then Pearl got involved.
Pearl did, yeah. If you guys aren't aware, Pearly Things or Pearl Davis, she has this thing she does on Twitter where she quote tweets an outfit pic from a woman's account, and she does hashtag I deem this outfit either inappropriate or appropriate for a wife and mother, which I think is kind of irrelevant because most of the women that she is quote tweeting are not wives, nor are they mothers, me included. I'm not a wife or a mother, so I don't know why it would really matter whether my outfit was appropriate for one. Mm-hmm. It would be like quote tweeting it and being like, I deem this outfit inappropriate for a mechanic. It's like, no, yeah, I'm not a mechanic, so it's really not relevant, is it? But she deemed my outfit appropriate for a wife and mother. So that was seen as like me sending some kind of secret message through my photos and what I was wearing, that I'm trying to like clap back at the attention seekers.
You
or
were
whatever.
supposed to wear jeans, a t-shirt, and you were supposed to be Billie Eilish on New
Look,
Year's.
I was just as much unabashedly seeking attention as Isabella was. I'm willing to admit that.
Yeah.
You know, you just need to put boundaries on it. And I think people are taking this a lot more seriously than they should.
I really do think it's because if this was 20 years ago, none of these people would be considered right-leaning, or it wouldn't have been so tribal that the label of your political ideology would come into it.
Do you think that I have a look that denotes a certain political ideology? Like if you just saw me on the street, would you think like she's a liberal, conservative, or whatever?
Hot topic. I don't know. Like
that's a political ideology I could get behind.
Like I'm
hot topic.
I'm part of the hot topic party. She says, right? Like.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I don't think I would say more that like I think a lot of people would be probably surprised to find out that you're as devout of a religious person as you are.
Probably.
Like because that's where a lot of this came from, right? People were calling these outfits demonic because they all bring it back to their religion. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, but you're going to have a hard time with the non-religious folks here, like me, who you may be right sometimes. Yes, when we're talking about certain issues, if you're talking about the transing of children and you're talking about a lot of these other things, but you got to know where the line is. But the problem is that line is subjective and it's so different to so many people. And it does come across with the same level of pompous moral superiority that somebody who gets the pronouns right every time has. Oh my gosh, it's so unsightly to see you dressed like that. And the rest of the world's like, bro, I'm sorry, but it's 2024 now, and we don't live in the dark ages. Things have changed. There is
as much as I wish we lived in the dark ages, that's never going to come back.
I just, I laugh at all this stuff because it's always time wasters. I remember getting like I don't even remember what the video was or what was being talked about, but this is back in the day, and I left a comment on some video about politics, and they were basically saying like, whatever is true, it doesn't matter because the left always wins. And what they're saying is like, while you're arguing, yeah, you get to own the libs every once in a while, but they push policies, right? You're out here worrying about calendars. They're getting new laws put in place at your local school district. They actually give it 110%, and that's why they always and that's why everybody else on the right always loses, right? You bring it to Twitter, they bring it to the school board.
You tired of losing yet?
I'm
conservatives.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.